Welcome to the Intuitive Hour with psychic medium, author, and intuitive life coach, Michelle Beltran. The Intuitive Hour will empower you to learn how to magnify your intuitive voice. Listen in and expand your understanding of what it means to be psychic and how to awaken, amplify, and trust your inner voice.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you all here. I'm Michelle, the host of the Intuitive Hour, and we are talking today about energy cords. What are they? Where do they come from? Different types, how they work, and how to release them. So let's begin. We have a full day here. Looking forward to this. And so I just want to start by saying, everyone, that tapping into your natural energy, those intuitive abilities, if you haven't noticed, it is a beautiful thing. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's just an intense journey of self-discovery. But all in all, it is beautiful, it is safe, it is of love and light. One of the biggest game changers, however, in my own psychic journey, and perhaps yours, is finally understanding energy cords and how they work. Energy, after all, is everything. It's a huge part of psychic development in your journey, so we really need to understand it, and it turns out energy cords play a big role in this. All right, so let me just set the scene for you as we begin. I came home from a quick coffee date with an acquaintance, and immediately I wanted to faceplant into my couch. I was completely exhausted, irritable, and feeling a heavy energy for no logical reason. I drank water, I rested, but this funk, if you will, wouldn't lift. So I wonder now if you resonate with this, if it perhaps sounds familiar, an experience like this. So that's when I actually realized I was dealing with an energetic cord. And again, it's been some time ago, but that stood with me. So learning to identify and release these invisible connections changed everything for me. That was the pivotal moment of shift. But it did indeed, from that moment forward, change everything. It helped me protect my peace, clear out emotional clutter. I felt like I could now maintain a balanced life. So let's walk through right now exactly what these cords are, the different types you might encounter, and how you can gently release them if you too have had an experience like this. So you can think of energy cords as invisible channels or strings that connect you to other people, places, or even situations and events. When you interact deeply with someone, an energetic thread forms. These cords allow you to share emotions, thoughts, and experiences back and forth. So while they can be incredibly beautiful and supportive, they can also leave you completely wiped out if left unchecked. Trust me, learning to spot these energy drains early on is going to save you so much exhaustion on your spiritual path. So really tune into that, particularly after you've had an event or meeting or interaction. All right, so how do they form? So if you've noticed how you can instantly feel a loved one's mood the second they walk into the room, or a friend or a child, any person at all, they tend to radiate emotion and energy. That's how it comes out. Emotion is energy, right? So you feel that. And sometimes you can feel it if they're not there and long after they're gone. Okay, energy cords form a natural bond between us. especially when there's an emotional or psychic connection. These invisible lines, they will attach to your chakras, particularly when you have a strong emotional connection. They can attach to your backside, an area in your body, a region. They can even attach when you aren't expecting it and just have maybe some unresolved history with someone that you might not always be aware of, right? So these cords act like a highway. Sometimes they carry high vibration, positive energy, and sometimes they act as a superhighway for low vibration. As I mentioned, unresolved energy, heavy energy. So, understanding how these connections influence your daily life, your thoughts, feelings, and your physical body in particular is absolutely vital for protecting your peace and continuing your psychic development in the positive, most positive of ways. Okay, so the types of energy cords. Positive energy cords, they're wonderful. We want those. A positive energy cord connects two people in a healthy, deeply nourishing way. It feels good. Think about right now the bond between you and your absolute best friend, or your parent, or a child. I find that I have a wonderful, beautiful cord with my dear friend Kathy. And even though we're miles apart and we don't see each other often, we have a deep kindred spirit friendship connection. And we often call each other, think of each other, text each other at the same moment. Positive cords foster feelings of safety, trust, and mutual respect. They're healthy and they're wonderful for growth and healing. Now, that said, even positive cords need regular check ins, everyone, and you want to make sure you're taking a look at that and those cords to ensure they stay balanced. We never want to rely too heavily on someone else's energy, right? So be mindful of that even with positive cords. You want them to be in balance. All right, negative energy cords. So on the flip side of that, these negative cords form in relationships where there's unresolved emotions, where you feel fear, where there may be toxic attachments that are just sort of lingering. For example, a relationship that has ended, but you still feel a pull, you still feel some grief, maybe something was left unsaid. So that's an attachment lingering of something that has ended, but it's still there, poking at you a little bit. Okay, so we have all had that toxic boss, maybe supervisor, that energy vampire friend, or a difficult ex relationship who just seems to maybe live rent free, if you will, in our heads, right? Those are all negative cords. We don't want them. We want to cut those ties. They are usually linked to feelings of resentment, guilt, fear, or any kind of low vibration energy. So these heavy cords, they attach to specific areas in your body, anywhere in your body. Oftentimes they'll be in your back where you can't see them or be aware of them. So less likely for you to notice them, but they stay there. Your solar plexus is also a particular place where your personal power lives, but this is where a negative energy cords will link to. So tune into that space as you're trying to clear these out. These negative cords can create energetic imbalances. They manifest as mood swings, random bursts of anxiety that just kind of come out of nowhere, or physical tension in your body, tightening in your jaw, tension somewhere that you all often have in your neck is a very commonplace. So we want to clear these out because they'll actively block our intuition. They're going to drag down our vibe and our vibration. So certainly we want to release these. Why is it releasing important then? Well, a couple different reasons, right? We don't want the uncomfort that we've talked about here present in our bodies. But in addition, letting go of these cords is just one of the most loving things we can do for ourselves, right? And for the other person. Whether they're positive or negative, these attachments impact your emotional, spiritual, and physical health. One rule to remember with energy is that no one, absolutely no one, is to be in your space without your permission. Only you have power in your space. The times when someone is within your close energetic realm and space is often when we're intimate, and that's fine. As the intimacy ends, though, you do come into balance, and here's the point: you are now in your own pure positive essence once again, and no one is allowed in that space without your permission. All right, so here are a few things you're going to notice as you release these energy cords gently and lovingly. And by the way, releasing energy cords does not mean you don't care or love for the person, and it most certainly does not bring any harm to anyone. It's just a balancing of energy, of love and light and goodness. It's a healthy energy balancing process. When you carry around negative energy cords, you're going to notice and you might feel completely thrown off balance. You might feel drained, randomly angry, unusual anxiety. So, releasing these heavy attachments will help restore your emotional equilibrium, bringing you back to your center. You will find emotional balance first and foremost. You're going to gain some spiritual clarity. Be mindful of that. Energy cords can easily cloud your psychic abilities, everyone. Negative attachments act like static on a radio, and they will make it hard to tune in to clear guidance from your intuition. So letting go of these cords clears that channel, making space for beautiful spiritual communication. Your personal power. This one is huge. Negative cords literally drain your life force. You might feel weak or powerless around a specific person in particular, and so by cutting these cords, you are going to call all your beautiful energy back home to yourself. Last, healing of relationships. Here is one very important truth. Releasing an energy cord does not mean you are cutting the person out of your life. You're simply releasing the unhealthy energetic attachment, not the emotional bond itself. You can still fiercely love that person. In fact, doing this clears the emotional baggage so that you can actually show up for the relationship in a much healthier, more loving, more balanced way. All right, how to release these cords. We've covered a lot of great information. I want to give you this simple 7-step meditation to do this very easily, very quickly. Releasing psychic energy cords, everyone, is a gentle yet profound practice. You're going to notice all of these things I've mentioned. I actually use this quick meditation quite often, especially after crowded events. Maybe you have just left an airport or a highly charged emotional space, a meeting at work where emotions were high and a little bit difficult and frustrating. Okay, so those are times to really sit in this simple 7-step meditation. Okay, number one, as you would expect, find a nice quiet space. Sit somewhere comfortable where you're not going to be interrupted. Don't be afraid to shut the door behind you. People can wait. You will get to them and everything else, all the to-dos of the day when you're done. Yes, even if this means locking yourself in the closet or the bathroom for 5 minutes, please do it. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and focus on relaxing your body, your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, anywhere you're holding tension. Next, I want to ask you to visualize a golden divine light. Imagine a warm, loving bubble of energy floating right above your head. See it in your mind's eye. Pop that little bubble and let the golden divine light wash down through the top of your head. Let it ooze down like honey and into your body. Feel it filling every single cell, gently washing away any tension or emotional junk or gunk. Third, feel safe and protected. Find that emotion of safety. As you sit in this beautiful golden light, remind yourself that you are incredibly safe, that all is well. You are protected by the divine. This light is your shield. Only loving, healing energy is allowed in your space right now. And remember, only your pure positive essence. Next, we want to find where that energy cord is. We need to identify it to release it. And this can be a little bit tricky because, as we've talked about, sometimes that cord can be in our back or somewhere we're not realizing. So, think of the person you want to release a cord from. Notice where in your body the cord feels attached. Just be present there. Scan your body in that space, and maybe if you go to that person and follow the cord from them to you, it'll lead you right to it. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to find it that way. It might be your stomach, your chest, your throat. As we've talked about previous today, it's usually somewhere tension-filled, tight, stressful. Next, trust your very first intuitive hit that you are totally right. Don't second guess that. Run with that first intention. All right, step 5. Here we express our feelings. Okay, so I want to ask you to take a deep breath here at this portion of the meditation. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And then I want you to imagine telling this person everything you need to say. Get it out. Get it all out. If your heart could speak, what would it say? Say it. Release any feelings you've been holding back, any words, anything at all. Let this be a safe space right here and now for your own emotional expression and closure. Next, step 6, we want to snip that cord. So, imagine a pair of golden scissors in your hand. With so much love and strong intention, snip that cord right at the point where it meets your body. And in so doing, simultaneously say out loud, I am releasing, state the person's name, from my space. With love and grace, I sever this negative energy cord. Now, watch the cord simply float away effortlessly, leaving you feeling instantly lighter. And last, sit in stillness. Be present, be calm, breathe. Just take a few more minutes to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and feel that shift. Feel that shift in your energy. Wallow and enjoy that clean, peaceful space you just created for yourself. Okay, 7 steps for you to release. Simply release those energy cords that have been stuck with you. All right, so releasing energy cords as we come to a close, everyone, is just such a gentle way, gentle but powerful way to support your own psychic development. It helps you keep your energy field healthy and gives you room to grow spiritually, totally free from the heavy weight of the outside influences of the world. Remember now that letting go of someone's energy in your personal space is an act of deep self-care. It's allowing you to build stronger boundaries, maintain emotional clarity, and stay connected to your truest self. The world needs your truest self. All right, with that, everyone, we will come to a close. I would love hearing from you if you so choose. If you've ever had an energy cord cutting or you have more questions about how to do it, reach out. mbeltran@michellebeltran.com or give me a call, 800-607-1770. It's been a pleasure to be with you all here today and looking forward to next week.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Intuitive Hour, please consider following, rating, and reviewing the podcast at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. You're welcome to access Michelle's free controlled remote viewing exercise that will empower you to uncover answers to your burning questions about lost objects, events, or people in the past, present, or future. Visit michellebeltran.com to access this free offering and rediscover what was once lost.